more
Yeah.
frequency than that. There's only us making a mess. I haven't had that hoover out for months. You can tell we're knee deep in leaves and all
I
sorts.
can't possibly comment. I can't comment. Oh yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Just like the squirrels, they'll make a mess.
Squirrels? Where can you see some squirrels?
All that's just not had your milk put in there yet.
Oh, okay.
So obviously you do that so you get the right amount really.
It's good service here, you know. Isn't it, Paul?
Says it on
Good
the side.
service, isn't it?
Oh, I do. I do like coming here.
It's a pity it didn't go well earlier, but it's one of
That was
those
funny.
things.
That was just
Yeah. Perhaps
Weird.
better not to talk about it.
a bit busy then to go through.
Did you see what he did? He's been eating with that spoon and
It
his
doesn't
cornflakes and
He
he
stirred his cup of
stirred
tea.
his tea
It's all right.
with all that.
Well, it could be
milk and
worse. He
spit.
could have poured his tea into the bowl and sucked it out the bowl.
Well, that's what my dad would have done. that is definitely inherited.
You spill it all
from
down
my
your throat,
dad.
won't you? Could you?
Yeah, sorry.
He was very careful. He used to make us laugh all the time, and Mum was forever trying to get a peaceful table.
Your mum couldn't shout loud enough.
But my dad messed it out.
Yeah. It would have been all on purpose for a
Oh,
laugh,
yeah.
though. You know, it wasn't to annoy your mum, it was to just have a
That's
laugh.
right, that's right. It was, people didn't see the dads much in that era, you see. So when Dad came home, that was a real treat for us, because he would play with us and stuff. But of course, that's, you have to take second fiddle or third fiddle when you've got a wife and then you've got sons. The girls don't, well, it's only girls, they don't need playing with it.
Was it that you were talking about when he was in the Navy, yes, when he was away? Is that what you
He was in the Navy before. He was in the civilian wing when he went abroad, when we went abroad to live in Cyprus.
You got to just despair and get on with life, Mum, because, you know.
Yeah.
It's just civilian wing.
Eh?
That one for civilians, this one's for travellers. Ooh.
Yeah, he was in the Navy for his, when he left home at 16, went in the Navy and did his, I think he did 12 years actually. Might have even been
Was he,
more.
when he was in the Navy, though, he'd be away from home for quite a while?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. Well, that's right. It was. Oh, I bet they would get maybe 4 home visits a year.
If that?
Yeah.
When Sean was deployed, he was, sometimes it was 6 months he was away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it matter whether you've got a family or not? Or is that not taken into consideration?
No. I mean, at the time he was married, wasn't he?
Oh right. Oh yes, that's right. Oh yes, that's right. I'd forgotten about what was her name?
Selena.
Selena.
so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But
What a good
difficult
experience
for him. Yeah.
It taught
I
him
was,
a lot.
he was referring to that, he came over the other day and was referring to when he was in the Navy, going to south of Georgia Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said it was so cold, the sea was frozen around the island. I said, oh, would that be in the winter or the summer? He says, I think it was the summer actually, but he was joking, I think he was joking. But
Yeah.
he said, it's freezing cold there all the time. I said, which is, when you were in the Gulf, I said, you communicated quite often. He said he was down below decks because you weren't allowed up on the deck when you were going to
So he was in the
deploys.
heat of the
So he was in the engine rooms
Oh.
at 60 degrees, well, probably 50 degrees, but you know, allowing for
allowing
exaggeration.
for the fact that. Yeah.
So, but they weren't allowed up on the deck to get some fresh air because they might get a
that's
top shot at them.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
When he
Yeah.
was, when they were
That's not
stationed
right, is
just
it?
by, there's a port near Sierra Leone, or perhaps around that area.
Yeah.
That's where all the
Yeah.
unpleasant people can
Right.
often live.
Yeah.
And they just weren't allowed on the decks, they weren't allowed within visual of the land because somebody might take a pot shot.
Right. Oh, well, it shouldn't be too hot and have holes in it and leak like a calendar.
But I said to him, what would you rather have? Would you rather, which out of the two, which is worse? The sweltering hot down in the bottom decks, or, you know, freezing cold in Georgia? I assumed that my preference would be the freezing cold because you got
Yeah.
extra layers
Yeah,
on. They said
yeah.
it was the engine room thing wasn't quite as bad as the freezing cold. So I guess it must have been colder than you think.
Yeah,
It's
did
to
him
be
good
good.
though. It taught him a lot because he didn't realise he liked using, working with his hands, did he? You know, when
I don't know. I think he did.
he
but
did. Because was he
learned.
employed by the Navy in that field, in something to do with
Yeah,
the
he
engines?
did like an apprenticeship sort of thing in the Navy, one with electronics and mechanical, I
Oh
think.
gosh, yeah.
So, he came out
Very
with
good basic.
certificates.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's good. Very good. Yeah.
Did Selena ever get in touch with him?
Oh, I imagine she would have done, yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I'm sorry, I
we
meant
didn't
after
discuss
they'd
that.
separated. After.
Oh, no, not after they
No.
separated, of course not.
No.
No.
She was a little minx, wasn't she? Sounds odd.
Links.
Minx.
Yeah,
Links.
yeah, best leave that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you pushing them around the table for again,
Because
Dad? This is the routine, isn't it?
Well, is if you talking of ships, if you put them that close together like that, and a storm brews up,
You
they
never
can
know
all go
when they're
like
going
that,
to brew
then you've
up,
lost
yeah.
them.
I can see what you mean. So you lost half of the Navy in one night.
Ah, come on, you little boy.
Losing half
I
a
don't
navy,
believe they're
you know.
certainly. I don't believe they're certainly.
Have you asked them?
No, that one's far too big. It's these. Are you certainly? Not
Are you
certain
certain
anything
you'll
is it?
do?
Don't look at you. Don't make
Are you qualified to poke us about?
Right,
Well, that one's leaning a bit, so that's certainly leaning.
that's a certain one.
Definitely is, yeah.
Get him down.
You can't wait, can you?
Go on, push,
And
push,
that's,
push.
and that's why some of them end up on the floor.
Yeah.
Because you scoop them into your hand, you don't notice one of these tiny little things dropping through.
It could be sleight of hand. It's a good job he's wearing short sleeve shirt, because if there's long sleeve shirts, you
He
wouldn't
might
know,
be
would
putting
you?
it up his sleeve for
Could be.
later, yeah.
You know,
It's funny that,
I bet you don't know how old that watch is.
Do you?
Do you?
No, I could only guess.
10.
You bought
Is it
it,
10?
didn't you?
Yeah. I think you were 30.
Oh,
Hmm.
30.
it can't be that old.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
had a new
yeah.
strap since then, though. But it was a good
Oh,
one.
it
I'd
says-
imagine.
oh,
It was
says
expensive. It was
stripes.
all 2 and 6pence.
Can I
Well,
do
take
it
that?
was-
that
it was-
taken to
it
the
was,
museum, won't we?
expensive, because it was because I wanted to buy something nice. But
I've got
you've had
cozies.
cozies.
I shouldn't joke.
The
Might have.
the Egyptian Museum would be interested in that watch. It predates their civilization, doesn't it?
Yes, they were going to say.
Sundial, really.
It was that or having to teach them to tell the time.
Yeah, the hands don't go round.
Yeah.
You have to hold your hands
Sundial.
still for several hours to tell time.
Yeah, I always know what the time is on here. 'Cause it's always the same.
Stops at 12 o'clock, does it?
No, it just stops. When I bought it, I said, "Is this a stopwatch?" And he said, "Yes."
Oh, Paul's joke yesterday was better than that.
Mm-hmm.
The lip squid.
Hairy lips.
You were there, were you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hairy lips.
My old hairy
Yeah.
lips.
Mild green hairy
Very
lips.
good. Mild green. Yeah.
Oh, I can just see it.
That was well threaded into the conversation. I must
Yeah,
say.
oh, it was.
Couldn't let it go
Perfect.
I
without
didn't know what he
saying
was
that.
going to say right until the very end.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in there.
Are you feeling bad again?
Yeah,
Sorry
Oh,
about
good.
that.
Go down the garden if you like,
still feeling bad.
please. Don't be sick on the fish.
It's horrible, isn't it? You don't feel sick, do you? It's
No.
nothing that you've eaten.
No,
he gets this
it's more likely
vertigo.
to be his tablets than anything else. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Oh yes. Especially when somebody's sitting at the table, picking his ears. Does it make you feel sick?
I think you were feeling sick before you sat at the table, actually, didn't you?
Yes, I think I heard he was.
Yeah, got a sort of a, it's a stupid problem, but nevertheless I can't actually sort of see the way through it, so let me tell it to you.
Go on then.
Well, Dad can get on his bed, on the bed. We've got it blocked. No, look, I know you know what I'm going to say, but not. Our bed is blocked up by
Yeah.
blocks about, how many inches? That about 4 inches.
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know why, I forget.
Well, it's to
that
get,
is
help Dad get
just
off
is.
the bed, isn't it?
Yeah, so he can get on the bed, but he can't get his legs on. So I lift his legs up.
Yeah.
So to sort that one out, that's why Carol we tried that DSL. That board, you know, sort of
Yes.
like up around.
Yeah.
But he can get off the bed all right, can't you? The way it is now.
You've got no choice with that bed.
Yeah, because it's sort of, it's very springy.
You
It's
put your legs
edged.
over the side, you're going down.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is, what is the solution to that? Because he can get off all right, but he can't get on it. So if we take the blocks out and it's lower, wouldn't that solve it?
No, because you wouldn't get it off it. You wouldn't be able to get off it because it wouldn't be high enough. You need it that high to get off, and you need it lower to get on.
Well, if you can't get off, I mean, your feet would touch the floor.
What, for getting off, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, for Dad, he needs to have raised up, so the razor here or the razor in the room to be higher than you might do,
To stand up.
to be able to stand up.
Okay.
So he
So
has to
if
have
he-
it that high
if his
just to
bum
be
was
able to get
there,
up.
And yeah, he tried to. I see. He
So-
would be leaning back, wouldn't he then?
So
When he, his
it's
feet
the right
touched the floor.
height for getting off.
Off.
It's just not the right height for getting on. And that's why you talked the other day about a ramp, wasn't it?
Yes.
But that ramp's too big.
Yes, it's not the right thing
Yeah,
either,
it's too
because
big.
when you were to get into bed, his feet are sort of like on that slope. You've got to turn round to.
Scared
It's
me,
too
that
steep.
did.
He wouldn't- he couldn't do
It's
it.
just too steep. It's too big and it's too steep. It needs to be half that size.
Yeah.
And it needs to have a flat section. So
It
you
does
go up
need
the
to
ramp,
have
you
a
stand flat, and then you
That's
turn round.
that's it. That's the answer. It's got to have a flat. It's got to have a platform, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Give me a couple of days, I'll find something, I'm sure.
Oh,
Something will come.
Will
Come
it?
through the
Through the
post.
post.
Well, it might do. No, but
It is.
I can think about
because
that
the
one.
other
or
thing-
Something.
Sorry, Mark, interrupting you. You know that it's got one bar. That's to
Yes.
stop him from rolling out.
Yes.
I was thinking that he ought to have another bar, the other side, the other end, so that he's got a gap in between the two bars. So then he can hold on to those bars to get down onto the floor.
No, but it's not going down that's the problem. It's the up that's the problem.
Yeah.
So those
That will
bars
help.
wouldn't
In
help
fact,
getting
that'll
up.
hinder, won't it, that bottom one?
And then you won't be able to
Well,
swing
won't
your
be able
legs
to swing
over
his
the...
legs
yeah.
around.
So it's the ramp thing for getting in bed.
Mm.
You need something, maybe 2 inches, but
Yeah.
a ramp that gently comes up and then has a flat section.
Yeah.
To stand there, shuffle round and sit on the bed, and then that gets slid under the
That
bed
can get slid under the bed then, you
for
see,
the morning
can't
to
it?
get back out again.
That sounds a good one, right?
Yeah.
I'll look online, I'll find something. There's bound to be something.
Well, I mean, that was online. No, it wasn't. It was from DSL.
Yeah,
But Carol said they had quite a few bits of things, different sort of things, but she thought that was the sort of the nearest to solving it, sort of thing. But I don't know what the other things were.
I'll
but-
investigate, I'll find something.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I couldn't figure out, you know, which way around the problem was, whether the bed, I was thinking, well, take the blocks out from under the bed, then it's lower, then he can get on it.
No, you forgot why the blocks were there in the first place,
Yeah.
didn't you?
It was to get off it. It was the offing. Yeah.
Yes. I
Oh,
would
that's good.
thinking
Yeah.
of offing if you're coughing, because
Might end up being
If you-
found out in one.
if you're coughing when you're offing,
I would skip
was
that
that?
one if I was you.
yeah, I'm not going to get there, am I? Not a place on the stage.
Barry copies that a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he hasn't got the same way of saying it that Dad had. That always made us laugh just because of the way he put his face, really, as much as anything.
Well, Barry,
No, my dad used to do all of those things that Barry does.
yeah.
And my dad used to get into trouble from Mum. Those children are trying to have their breakfast. Will you wait until they finished eating?
I remember it.
What?
That
Dad?
Dad getting a telling off every now and again.
Well, he was distracting, but
But
we...
she never heard what he said under his breath.
Well, he didn't want her to, and she didn't want to. That was to make us laugh.
Yeah, made me laugh. Sitting there. I want to marry your daughter, but
You know what you can do. My mum described Michael as a common factory boy.
yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, you said about that.
Common.
Years ago. Yes, you did.
I know.
Yeah,
Common factory boy.
yeah.
Yeah. I
She
told
had
her.
no idea what she was talking about.
No, they just imagine things.
Yeah.
Mm.
That horrible Paul.
I'm taking this out, bring to, because I want the container back,
Yeah.
so I
Okay.
mustn't forget it. I'm still feeling a bit dizzy, I don't know what's going on there.
Well, can you remember what you took?
Body coming back into equilibrium, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have the same old pills all the time, and I could even look them up now to see what it said.
You normally have them after breakfast, though, you
Normally
said.
have them after breakfast.
Yeah.
So,
Do you?
Yeah.
Have them after breakfast and
Yeah. Well, he was sick this morning and he
Yeah.
had them before breakfast.
I know, that's the bloody trouble.
You think that might be what caused him?
it says
to feel
avoid
so
alcohol on here.
No, it was dizzy, wasn't it, Paul?
Dizzy at first and then
Yeah.
sick actually, I didn't
Yeah.
expect to be sick.
That's typical.
So,
So that's something else that may be a trigger.
yeah.
That's a bit of a blow.
Oh.
Yeah,
This
and
one
knows
off
what
and that'll be
most
that.
of them do, does she, Mark?
Yeah.
Does Anna?
No, she doesn't know
She's not
everything,
involved.
every tablet does. No.
No.
She knows the more common ones that
Yeah.
everybody has. By no means an expert.
Mm.
Not long before she is though, but... Get in your bed, Mr. Jones, put your trousers on.
She doesn't work on the wards anymore.
Huh?
Anne doesn't work on the wards
Oh,
anymore.
what does she work on?
She goes to people's houses.
And just to see that everything's in order, is that it? You
Well,
know, to make
to
sure they've
do
got what they
certain
need.
jobs that need doing for them, you know.
Mm.
Don't need the
I
details.
don't need the details. I was going to hope I didn't need the details.
No.
Not with Paul being so...
No. Oh, poor Paul.
Oh, it's strange.
Would you mind if you go out for a breath of fresh air?
I was just
Open the door?
contemplating going out for a walk around the garden, I think.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Or at least on the dry
Don't
bits.
tell the fish though.
I want to come with me.
No,
In fact, we could go in the front room and leave this,
of
couldn't we?
course we could.
Or just
I
put
want
the
to take the
milk in
tea.
the fridge. Oh, do you want that topping up? Mark's
Yes.
good at topping tea up.
Oh,
It might need some fresh because it might be a little bit
Okay.
stewed. What I'll do is I'll put the cap on in a minute.
Yeah,
We'll
just a
do-
little bit. I might have a top up myself. It's a good tea, isn't it?
I watched them on my couch alive, vacant or in pensive mood. They stretch upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude.
Which side are you getting at, Dad? That side or this side?
Whichever I fall on,
No, seriously, which side do you want this? This
I'll
side?
go this left,
That
left,
side.
left hand. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, you can go, boy. I'm
Just spread that out your way a
using you
little bit.
anymore. Lovely, thank you.
No, could it be Paul's glasses, do you think, that are giving him the...
I think it's more likely his tablets, more
Yeah.
likely, to be fair. But I don't know, of course he has had this issue with vertigo, so it could be, couldn't it?
Well, when I worked, before we were married, I worked in an opticians. And even then, they used to put any symptoms on the card for the new patients. And there were quite a few that had vertigo. And so he said, well, it's your eyes trying to straighten things up. That, you need glasses. And it would solve the problem. So, but he wears glasses all the time. It perhaps needs to change them.
Really good. This horse has only got 4 legs. The audience didn't. Yes, it's got 4 legs.
No, the audience don't like that.
Now it's got 3. You know what one of the major injuries were on a farm?
Stabbing forks through your feet?
Horses
Falling off.
stepping on the feet of the men that are leading the horse.
Oh, the feet. The horse's
Because they
feet.
were. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're looking through one eye at you.
The,
Once in they saw you can look through
the
the
horse was down on their foot.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's heavy. Oh, are you going through? That was some kind of rugby, wasn't it?
Pardon?
It's all right, I got away with it.
And for my next joke, I'll fall flat on his face. No, I won't. Keep doing that. It's not even funny.
Feeling better?
A little bit better, thank you, yeah.
Fresh air.
Yes, it's a sweet thing.